It started like any other love story, full of laughter, stolen glances, and whispered promises. Anna and James had been inseparable from the moment they met. Their love felt timeless, like something written in the stars. Everyone around them envied their connection, believing that they were meant to last forever. But fate, as it often does, had other plans. James was devoted, reliable, and deeply in love with Anna. He would have done anything to see her smile. He remembered the way she looked at him when they first met, her eyes bright and full of wonder. In that moment, he knew he had found something rare and precious. And for a long time, she gave him every reason to believe she felt the same. They built a life together, a home filled with warmth, laughter, and late-night conversations. He trusted her completely, never questioning the small changes, the subtle shifts in her behavior. Until one day, the facade began to crack. Anna started staying late at work more often than usual. She became distant, her laughter no longer ringing as freely as before. Her phone, once casually left on the table, now never left her side. James noticed but brushed it off. Love, he believed, was built on trust, and he refused to be the jealous type. But doubt, once planted, has a way of growing no matter how hard one tries to ignore it. The first real sign came on a Sunday afternoon. James had planned a surprise dinner for Anna, a quiet evening just for the two of them. They had always shared a deep connection, one that was strengthened by their shared passions. Anna loved the idea of a quiet, intimate evening, and James was eager to surprise her with a homemade meal. But she called at the last minute, her voice filled with an unfamiliar nervousness. "Something came up," she said. "I'll be home late. Don't wait up." James didn't press. He simply said, "All right," but the unease in his chest didn't fade. That night, as he lay awake in bed, he began to wonder if he was losing her. He remembered the last time they had been truly close, the way they had laughed together over dinner just the week before. He longed for that connection again, but the silence that filled their home felt heavier than ever. Days turned into weeks, and the distance between them only grew. Then came the text, a simple, heart-stopping mistake. Anna had left her phone unlocked, and as James reached over to silence a notification, his eyes landed on a message that would change everything. "I can't stop thinking about last night. When can I see you again?" His breath caught in his throat. The sender's name was saved under something innocent, but the words left no room for doubt. His hands trembled as he put the phone down, his mind racing. Who was this person? How long had this been going on? Had their love been a lie all along? He didn't confront her immediately. Instead, he watched, observing the little things he had once ignored. The way she smiled at her screen, the late-night phone calls, the lingering scent of unfamiliar cologne. The love they had once shared seemed to vanish into thin air, leaving only an empty shell of their relationship. And then, one evening, he followed her. Anna had told him she was working late again, but James, driven by a mixture of heartbreak and the need for truth, found himself parked outside a quiet restaurant, watching as she walked inside. Moments later, another man joined her. The way they looked at each other, the way she laughed, the laughter that used to belong to him, it was undeniable. Her hand lingered on his arm for just a second too long. His heart shattered in that moment. His world crumbled, but a part of him still wanted to deny it. The love they had shared was real, wasn't it? How could she betray him like this? James had two choices: walk away and pretend he never saw it, or confront the woman he loved and demand the truth. When Anna returned home that night, she found him sitting in the dark, a glass of untouched whiskey in his hand. "How long?" he asked, his voice void of anger, only deep sadness. Anna froze. "James, How long have you been lying to me?" he interrupted, his gaze piercing through her. Tears welled in her eyes. "I never meant to hurt you," she whispered, her voice cracking. She stepped toward him, but James couldn't bring himself to reach out to her. "But you did. And now I need to know, was any of it real?" he asked, his voice barely audible. What followed was a conversation filled with confessions, regret, and the undeniable truth that love, once pure, had been tainted by deception. Anna admitted to an affair, her voice trembling with shame. "It started when I felt so disconnected. You were so busy, and I was lonely." James tried to understand, but the pain was overwhelming. His love for her was deep, and even as the truth shattered his heart, he couldn't help but reach out to her. In that moment, he could still feel the warmth of their early days, the late-night talks, the stolen kisses in the kitchen, the way they danced together under the moonlight. It was all gone now, replaced by a hollow ache. Days passed in unbearable silence. Anna moved through their home like a ghost, knowing she had shattered something that might never be repaired. James barely spoke to her, spending more time at work, avoiding the house they once shared with so much love. But no matter how much distance he put between them, the pain followed him. One evening, Anna packed her bags. "Maybe we need some time apart," she whispered, voice cracking. "Maybe it's the only any way. James didn't argue. He only nodded, watching as she walked out the door, taking a piece of his heart with her. Time moved slowly. James tried to heal, but the betrayal left a scar too deep to ignore. He immersed himself in work, went out with friends, even considered dating again. But no one else could fill the void she had left. Then, months later, a letter arrived, handwritten, from Anna. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I need you to know that I never stopped loving you. What I did was selfish, and I live with that regret every day. But if there's even the smallest part of you that still feels something for me, meet me at the place where we first fell in love. If you don't come, I'll understand. But if you do, maybe there's still hope for us. James sat with the letter in his hands for hours, his heart warring with his mind. Could he ever trust her again? Could love survive such a betrayal? The next evening, he found himself standing at the park where they had shared their first kiss, his heart pounding in his chest. The same park where he had first felt the spark of something that felt like destiny. And when Anna turned to see him there, tears in her eyes, he realized that love, even when broken, still had the power to mend. They stood there in silence for a long time, the weight of what had passed between them hanging heavily in the air. But despite everything, there was still something undeniable about the connection they shared. But some wounds, no matter how much time passes, never truly heal. James agreed to meet her for coffee the next day. They sat in an old cafe, talking like they used to, as if they were trying to rebuild the pieces of what was lost. Anna swore she had changed, that she had spent every night regretting her choices. James listened, but he wasn't the same man anymore. He could still see the sparkle in her eyes, the way she laughed that same laugh that had once made him fall in love with her. But the magic, the intimacy, was gone. As days turned into weeks, they tried to reconnect, but the shadow of betrayal loomed over them. James wanted to forgive, but he couldn't forget. The laughter wasn't as effortless, the touch not as familiar. He remembered how they used to walk hand in hand in the mornings, how her head would rest on his shoulder in the evenings. And yet, he realized with a heavy heart that no matter how much love they had once shared, some things couldn't be repaired. And then, one evening, as he looked into Anna's eyes, he realized the painful truth: sometimes love is not enough. He stood up, kissed her on the forehead, and whispered, "Goodbye, Anna." And with that, he walked away, leaving behind the love they once shared and stepping into a future where he could finally heal. Yet, as James moved forward, Anna remained frozen in the past, forever haunted by the love she had lost and the deception that had cost her everything.